Hello and welcome everyone to a new Heroes of Might and Magic 3 tier list, where in this one, we're going over every single Elementalist in the game. And yes, it's been a while since the last tier list that I made, but due to microphone issues, I wasn't really able to record one as easily. But I'm back now, and we'll be getting on the way to complete every single hero class. And then we'll probably do some bigger project for tier lists as well, so stay tuned. As for Elementalist, first off, we have Aenain. Aenain is an Elementalist that starts off with Air Magics, so Wisdom Air Magics, as well as Disrupting Ray in the spellbook, and also specializes in the Disrupting Ray. Unfortunately, the usefulness of this hero is really down to his starter skills, not really anything else. The specialty doesn't really matter, the starter spell doesn't really matter. He's all about being the air magician, and he's actually really good at that. This guy is gonna be able to expert haste on like level 5, and that is really good. Then as an elementalist, he's gonna be going for other good skills really early into the game too. By other good skills, I mean schools of magic. Apart from schools of magic, the skills that elementalists roll for are actually pretty bad. They usually get ballistics, learning, they get all sorts of garbage. But nonetheless, they actually make for pretty good heroes, just because schools of magic are really that valuable in Heroes 3. Not to mention their stat lines are pretty good. 0, 0, 3, 3. Really good stat line. They actually cheat a stat compared to every single other magic class in the entire game. So, yeah. Unless an Elementalist is really bad for some specific reason, they're gonna be ranked pretty high. And Aenain is no exception. He is A tier in my opinion. Then, next up is you have Brisa. Brisa is just like Aenain. She's an air magician, but she actually has a useful spell in her spellbook, and also she has a useful specialty. She specializes in haste, and also starts off with haste, and that is actually really good. It puts her quite a step above Aenain. Haste specialty increases the haste that you get on like a tier 1 unit by 3. So your pikemen can, or like your sprites or anything, can actually reach shooters on the other side of the battlefield in a single turn. Brisa's specialty basically ends up being almost as useful as like straight up expert tactics on your hero. It's really nuts and really good. This hero is a go-to hero for Comfy. Really nice. And not for Comfy, whenever you find her, she is always pretty useful. Next up is we have Ciele. Ciele is the magic arrow specialist. She starts off with wisdom and water magics. And water magics is not the best, but it fits pretty well for Ciele. Not to mention, whenever you're playing Confi, water magic is actually quite a bit better than it is on any other faction, because Bless is one of the best early spell games for Conflux, and having it at expert level is really strong. Because every single, yeah, pretty much every single unit in Conflicts, especially in the early game, has a really wide range of attack. And because of that, Bless gives you a really insane amount of percent increased damage, and that is very nice. So Ciele is really good for magic arrow spam in the early game, and also Bless is pretty good as well. So the sonic skills are not that either. I would put her in S tier. Something to note is that she's good as a support and as a main. She can build as a main because she is an elementalist, and she will be getting pretty much all the schools of magic that you want for a good main. And also she's good as a side hero because she can do fights without really much investment whatsoever. You can, you know, the moment that you get her, you can already have a payout by having her do some fights. She's really good at that. Next up is we have Gelare. Now, Gelare is pretty much like Ciele, but without the benefit of being a really good side hero to take fights. He still makes for a decent side hero as an elementalist, and also with the 350 gold specialty that he has, but his spellbook starts off with Dispel, and he's not really as good. He still actually kind of preferred him as like H3DM1, where some of the other options are banned, so Gelare is usually actually picked pretty often. The gold is useful, the hero template, I mean, he makes for a decent hero to possibly main as well. He is not bad, but I would say he is a step down from the rest. Next up is we have Grindan. Grindan is one of the most influential heroes in the game, okay? Because the best way to take fights in early game Heroes 3 is by expert slowing, and some heroes start off with slow in their spellbook, which makes them only need to get earth magics in order to expert slow. Some heroes get earth magics, like Labetha, so they only need the actual spell in order to expert slow. Grindan starts off with both. So all you need is 4 level ups on Grindan, and you will guaranteed have access to the best early game spell of the game. And that is huge! Absolutely huge. And because of that, he is going straight to S tier. He has 350 gold specialty, by the way, as well, which is kind of nice, but not really the selling point of the hero. So, yeah. Grindan, very, very good. You should main him, or if you're not maining him, you should at least use him as a side hero to take some fights for you. He requires minimal investment for really strong, good payoff. And you're always really scared to see this guy. So, next up is we have Inteus. Inteus is the fire magician of the Elementalist. He starts off with Bloodlust in the spellbook, and he also has a Bloodlust immediately as well. And Bloodlust is pretty bad. Elementalists usually more so like to take range battles with like Storm Elementals or Cyclops in the mid game, and so on. Bloodlust does not really end up being that useful at all. And there's no good spell to make use of fire magics from. I mean, nothing that really activates fire magics to be that good. Like, water magic is acceptable because Bless is that good, but Bloodlust in comparison doesn't do anything for you almost. And because of that, I would say he is the worst of Elementalist. I would put him at C tier. He is quite a big step down from the rest. Not really that good as a side hero, not really good as a main. He is average at best. Next up is we have Labetha. Labetha has the Stone Skin specialty, which is actually really, really good for brawling, and that is not to be underestimated. The specialty is quite a bit better than Grindan's, but I dare say that the entire good specialty of the hero is not as good as just starting off with slow in the spellbook. Grindan's raw consistency, the fact that he doesn't have to pull the spell out of anywhere else and he just starts with it, is really notoriously good. So despite being a nerf magician with a better specialty than Grindan, she is still a slight step down from Grindan in my opinion. And next up is we have the actual good Fire Mage of Conflux, Luna. This hero is a game changer, okay? An absolute game changer. She starts off with, of course, fire magics and firewall in the spellbook, and she specializes in the firewall. And that is the most ludicrous specialty because it doubles, straight up doubles the damage of firewall, and that changes everything. Her firewall can clean the entire map. She will be able to take conservatories, pickets on like a few levels, and maybe like 1 or 2 power items. Her raw value is super insane. Even if you get her as a side hero, you can put like 1 fly in her, and with that she will be able to clear pickets, clear boxes for you, clear artifacts. She is notoriously good and super influential. And because of that, she goes into S tier. She usually is the preferred option over Grindan, but some people actually pick Grindan anyway. It is really a matter of preference between the two. But Luna is absolutely nice. So yeah. So to summarize, Elementalists are actually really, really good and strong at what they do. They do not make for best endgame mains, but they compensate that for having really notoriously strong early game and a pretty good mid game too. And that makes them really, really high on the tier list. And so there you go. This time, I don't really have the tribunal to invite. Hopefully for next time. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time. Bye bye.